Hello, and I welcome you to the UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, wherein we would be discussing daily prelims MCQs from the Hindu, Indian Express, and PIB. So let's get started. The first question is, with reference to anti-defection law in India, consider the following statements. The first statement, the law specifies that a nominated legislator cannot join any political party within 6 months of being appointed to the House. Second statement, the law does not provide any time frame within which presiding officer has to decide a defection case. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. So this question was asked in UPSC Prelims 2022. So we have taken this particular topic with reference to a news article in the Hindu newspaper, wherein the Supreme Court has directed the Maharashtra Assembly Speaker to decide the disqualification petitions filed under 10th schedule of the Constitution against the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So in this context, we would be studying about the anti-defection law. So what is anti-defection law? So in this particular law, it will punish individual members of the parliament or members of the legislative assembly for leaving one party for another. So it was added as a 10th schedule in the Constitution via 52nd Amendment Act 1985. So this act would bring stability to the governments by discouraging legislators from changing parties. So what were the grounds for defection? If an elected member voluntarily gives up his membership and joins another political party, then he would be penalized under anti-defection law. If a member abstains from voting contrary to the direction issued by his political party without obtaining any prior permission, then he would also be penalized under this particular act. Then in case of independently elected member, if an independently elected member joins any political party, then he would be penalized under the act. And in case of nominated member, if he joins any political party after the expiry of the 6 months. So within the 6 months, before the expiry of the 6 months, he can join any political party. The nominated member can join any political party. So however, it allows a group of MPs or MLAs to join another political party without getting penalized under the anti-defection law. How? As per 1985 Act, a defection by 1/3 of the elected members of a political party was considered as a merger. So in this case, they wouldn't be penalized under anti-defection law. By the 91st Constitutional Amendment Act 2003 changed this particular provision, and it has mentioned that now at least 2/3 members of a party must be in favor of a merger to not get penalized under the anti-defection law. So who will decide on the question of disqualification on the grounds of defection? It is the chairman or speaker of the house. However, the decision of the speaker of the house is subjected to judicial review. In case of Keato-Olhan case, the Supreme Court said that a speaker decision is subjected to judicial review. Next, and the law does not provide any time frame within which the speaker has to decide a defection case. So going back to the question, first statement says that nominated legislator cannot join any political party within 6 months. It is wrong because a nominated member can join any political party within 6 months. He cannot join any political party after the 6 months. And the second statement, the law does not provide any time frame within which presiding officer has to decide a defection case. Yes, it is true. The law does not provide any time period within which the speaker has to take a decision. So the option is, correct answer is option B, 2 only. Only second option is right. And the next question is, consider the following statements regarding Enforcement Directorate. Option 1, it is a statutory body. Option 2, it is a part of Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. Third one, it can take suo motu actions. And the fourth statement is it has quasi-judicial powers. How many of the above statements are correct? How many of the above statements are correct? Option A, all of the above. Option B, only 2. Option C, only 3. Option D, only 1. So this question was asked with reference to a news article that has appeared in the Hindu news, wherein the Enforcement Directorate has summoned the Delhi Chief Minister with regarding Delhi excise policy, because the ED is investigating in this particular cause based on a FIR registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation, alleging that there had been irregularities in the implementation of a Delhi excise policy 2021 to 2022. So in this context, we would be studying about Enforcement Directorate. So this Enforcement Directorate is neither a constitutional body nor a statutory body. It is a premier financial investigation agency and economic law enforcement agency of the Government of India. So this is a multi-investigation agency, but not a statutory body and not a constitutional body. Its headquarters are located at New Delhi. So this Enforcement Directorate, when it was established in the year 1956, its name is Enforcement Unit. Then it was under, when it was formed, it was under the Department of Economic Affairs. But later in 1957, this unit was renamed as Enforcement Directorate. And later, this particular Enforcement Directorate has shifted. Now it is under the administrative control of Department of Revenue and the Ministry of Finances for the operational purposes. Earlier, it is under the Department of Economic Affairs. Now it is under the control of Department of Revenue. So the director of the Enforcement Directorate is appointed according to the provisions of Central Vigilance Commission Act 2003. So the center appoints the director on the recommendation of a high-level committee headed by Central Vigilance Commissioner. So this director has a tenure of 2 years with a maximum 3 annual extensions. So what are the functions of the ED? It is mandated to look into the violations of any offenses of, it would be investigating into the offenses of money laundering and violations of the foreign exchange laws. It has derived its powers under Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, and Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. So under these, this ED will enforce the provisions of these 3 acts, that is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, and Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. So in this case, it can search and seize the property that was linked with Prevention of Money Laundering Act. It is also a sponsoring agency under Conservation for Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities 1974, which is the act is against the Hawala transactions. The ED also has a quasi-judicial powers. So Section 50 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act provides the ED with a powers of a civil court. So it can summon any person who are suspected under money laundering. And next, so ED can take action against any person who are suspected under Foreign Exchange Management Act and Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So the cases under FEMA may lie in the civil courts, and the cases under Prevention of Money Laundering Act will lie under criminal courts. So FEMA may lie in civil courts. Prevention of Money Laundering Act cases will lie in criminal courts. And this agency has jurisdiction over any person or any legal entity who has committed the crime, including the public servants. Even public servants comes under the jurisdiction of this particular agency. And next, ED cannot take suo moto action. So suo moto means on its own. It cannot take an action on its own. Someone has to must complain to a police. Then police can hand over this particular case to ED. So if you go back to the question again, it's a statutory body. No, it is not a statutory body. It is an investigation agency. It is neither a statutory body nor a constitutional body. It is a part of Department of Revenue and Ministry of Finance. Yes, it is a part of department. Currently, it is under the administrative control of the Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. And next, it can take suo moto actions. No, it cannot take the suo moto actions. Fourth statement, it has quasi-judicial powers. Yes, it has a quasi-judicial powers. So how many of the statements above are correct? Both 2 and 4 are correct. So 2 statements are correct. Only 2 are correct. So option is, the right answer is answer B. Third statement, third question. Which of the following statements regarding carbon nanofluorides are incorrect? So statement 1, it is formed by heating a special form of silicon dust called DFNS, that is dendritic fibrous nanosilica, in a furnace by introducing acetylene gas into the chamber after it got heated. And the second statement says that it converts the light energy into a thermal energy, a process called solar thermal conversion with a remarkable efficiency. Third statement, the nanofluorids can observe only infrared radiation. Option A only 1, option B both 1 and 2, option C only 3, option D 1 and 3. So this question was asked with reference to a news article that has appeared in the Hindu, wherein it has discussed about the carbon nanostructures. So this carbon nanostructures, so this carbon nanofluorids are also known as carbon nanostructures. It is formed by heating a special form of silicon dust in a furnace. After this particular silicon dust got heated, then acetylene gas was introduced into the particular chamber. So after the introducing of the acetylene gas, we would be seeing a black color powder in the furnace. So when this black powder is looked under the microscope, it will be looked like this. If you look at this picture, they are looking like a marigold flower. So the beads, so this black powder, when it is observed on the microscope, they would be appearing like the small beads which have a spherical nanostructures, and they are composed of a carbon cones. So how this this carbon nanofluorids have high efficiency because of the three properties. High efficiency means solar thermal efficiency, because the whatever heat that it has observed, whatever light that was fallen onto the carbon nanofluorids, it can convert that particular light into energy. That is known as solar thermal energy conversion. So the nanofluorids observe three frequencies in the sunlight, that is infrared, visible light, and ultraviolet. So it observes three frequencies, but basically any photovoltaic material that we use in solar panels can observe only visible and ultraviolet light, but this nanofluorids can observe infrared, visible light, and ultraviolet rays. And another property because of its high thermal efficiency is the material's high light heat conversion efficiency is the result of its shape. Any light that falls on the material, the carbon cones ensure that very little is reflected back. Instead, most light is reflected internally. So when we look at the figure, we have seen that the surface of this particular nanofluorids is just like this, right? Just like a cone. So whenever the light falls on the material, it will trap this particular light in this particular place. So the chances of light that was reflecting back reduces, and this reflected light, most of the light is reflected internally. And another reason for its high efficiency is because of its physical properties. Because of its physical properties, the amount of heat that was lost into the environment is reduced a lot. So if we look at the question again regarding carbon nanofluorids, it is formed by heating a special form of silicon dust called DFNS in a furnace by introducing acetylene gas into the chamber. Yes, it is true, as we have discussed earlier. And it converts the light energy they observed into a thermal energy called solar thermal conversion with a remarkable efficiency. As we said that it has remarkable efficiency because of the three properties that we have discussed earlier. And the third statement says that the nanofluorids can observe only infrared radiation. No, the nanofluorids can observe infrared radiation, visible light, and UV rays. So the third statement is wrong. So the question is about which of the following statements are incorrect. So only 3 is incorrect. So the right answer is option C. The next question is electoral bond. Electoral bond is a bearer instrument in the nature of a promissory note and an interest-free banking instrument. Which of the following statements is not true regarding electoral bonds? Option 1, statement 1, SBI is the only authorized bank to sell these bonds. Statement 2, anonymous cash donations were capped at rupees 10,000. Statement 3, political parties have to disclose amount to election commission. Option 4, they are valid for 10 days from the date of the issuance. So options that were given are option A 1 only, option B 1 and 2 only, option C 2 only, option D 2 and 4 only. So we're discussing with this particular question with reference to a news article, that is electoral bonds, wherein Attorney General of India R. Venkataramani has said that, in Supreme Court has said that this particular electoral bond scheme would promote contribution of clean money to the political parties, where the opposition political parties has argued that this particular scheme has promoted corruption, favoritism, even criminalization of politics in a democracy. So in this context, we would be discussing about electoral bond scheme. So this electoral bonds was launched in the year 2018 by the Union government. So these are nothing, these bonds are like a promissory note that can be bought by any Indian citizen or a company incorporated in India. Who can buy these bonds? Indian citizen or a company incorporated in India, not a foreign citizen. So this electoral bonds is a financial instrument for making donations to the political parties. These are issued in the multiples of rupees 1,000, 10,000, rupees 1 lakh, 10 lakh and 1 crore without any maximum limit. The State Bank of India is the only bank that is authorized to issue this particular bonds. So SBI is the only bank that can issue this particular bonds. So after issuing these bonds, they are valid only for 15 days. Remember, they are valid only for 15 days. And these bonds are redeemable in a designated account of a registered political party. So these bonds can be redeemable by a account of a registered political party. And these bonds are available for purchase by a citizen of India or any company that was incorporated in India for a period of 10 days. So these bonds are available for purchase only for the period of 10 days each in the months of January, April, July and October, as may be specified by the central government. So these bonds, after getting issued, they are valid for only 15 days. And if anybody wants to purchase these bonds, these are available only for a period of 10 days each in the months of January, April, July and October. A person being an individual can buy bonds either singly, or he can also buy these bonds jointly with other individuals. The donor name is not mentioned on the bond, and anonymous cash donations were capped at rupees 2,000. So anonymous cash donations were only capped at rupees 2,000. They are available for purchase for 10 days at the beginning of every quarter, as we have discussed earlier. And the political parties have to disclose the amount to Election Commission. They have to disclose the amount to the Election Commission. If you look at the question again regarding electoral bonds, SBI is the only authorized bank to sell these bonds. Yes, SBI is the only bank that can issue these particular bonds. Then anonymous cash donations were capped at rupees 10,000. No, they were capped at rupees 2,000. Political parties have to disclose the amount to Election Commission. Yes, they have to disclose. They are valid for 10 days from the date of issuance. No, they are valid for 15 days from the date of the issuance. So the right answer is option D, 2 and 4 only, because the question is asked about non-true statements. So option 2 for the statement 2 and statement 4 are not correct. So option D is the right answer. Next question, with reference to the Kavach system, select the correct statements. Statement 1, it helps in auto whistling while approaching the level crossing gates. Statement 2, it has been developed by Defense Research and Development Organization. So options are option A only 1, option B only 2, option C both 1 and 2, option D none of the above. So this particular question was asked with reference with regarding to the news of AP train accident and also recent Odisha train accident, wherein it has been said that had it been the Kavach system, this particular accidents would have been avoided. So about Kavach is an indigenously developed automatic train protection system for the Indian Railways. So it is indigenously developed one. It is designed to bring a train to halt automatically when it is noticed that another train on the same line. When it notices that the train is on the same line within a prescribed distance. So who has developed this particular coverage? It was developed by Research Design and Standards Organization of the Ministry of Railways in collaboration with Indian industry. So it has been developed by Research Design and Standards Organization. What are the features of this coverage? It prevents train from passing the signal at danger zone, and it avoids collisions, and it activates train braking system automatically if the driver fails to control the train, and it will continuously update the movement of the particular train. Then it will had a feature of auto whistling while approaching the level crossing gates, and it would also send messages during emergency situations, and it has the feature of centralized live monitoring of train movements, so we can trace the train movements through a network monitor system. So if you look at the question, it helps in auto whistling while approaching the level crossing gates. Yes, it has the feature of auto whistling. It has been developed by Defense Research Development Organization. No, it has been developed by Research Design and Standards Organization of the Ministry of Railways. So the correct answer is option A. Only one is right answer. So with this, we are concluding this session, and the PDF of this particular topic will be available in Telegram channel. And I hope this session was helpful. Thank you.